What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports, and the Phillies just cannot simply beat the Miami Marlins. I feel like that's the simplest answer out of all of it. The Miami Marlins are the Philadelphia Phillies' goddamn kryptonite. I don't know how to explain it. It's just one of those goddamn scenarios. For some reason, this Phillies team just cannot beat the Miami Marlins. They dropped 2 games of this series so far. They lose this one by a score of 7-1. You only get 1 run on the board. Zack Eflin was goddamn atrocious on the mound tonight. Did not help your guys whatsoever. Pablo Lopez on the other side for the Marlins, all he had to do was settle in, and that's basically it. The Phillies did have their chances throughout the game, but once again, they just weren't able to cash in those hits and weren't able to drive in runners in scoring position. That was another problem tonight. Bullpen, basically, I would say, was solid once again, except for Nelson. Basically, after Nelson, the bullpen was once again solid, and really, they just did their job at the end of the day. But at the end of the day as well, your starter did not help you whatsoever, and your lineup once again just could not hit anything whatsoever. The lone run came by a very late home run by Nick Castellanos, and really right now, out of the big guys, Nick Castellanos has been mainly one of the more consistent guys out of the group that has been hitting the ball hard. Nick Castellanos this year, to start the season, he has a 300 average, getting that home run tonight. And Rhys Hoskins, he had a couple of hits today too. Kyle Schwarber is still struggling at the plate in that leadoff position. Bryce Harper, nothing going for him today. JT was out of the lineup after his 4 hits yesterday. Didi Gregorius went 1 for 4. Camargo went hitless for the first time in this game. Bryson Stott didn't get a hit today. Stubbs just barely missed a home run. Muzziotti actually had a really good game, honestly, defensively, and, he had a couple of good swings at the plate, got his first major league hit in this ball game as well, but overall, there was just nothing going for this Phillies team. They had many chances. Rhys Hoskins had 2 doubles in this game, and he wasn't able to be brought in once. So there's your standpoint right there. And just the Marlins were teeing off on Zack Eflin really early in this ball game, and it was just a major issue throughout. And right now, you're seeing the starters, their second time, they're getting their second start to the season. They're getting rocked. Nola got rocked. Kyle Gibson got rocked yesterday, and Zack Eflin gets rocked today. What's going to happen tomorrow with Ranger Suarez? What's going to happen Sunday with Zach Wheeler? I have no idea. Hopefully, Ranger Suarez, after the sluggish start that he had in his first outing against the Mets, maybe he bounces back tomorrow with a good start. Maybe Zach Wheeler can, just pick up the momentum from his previous and, build off that. But right now, it's still not guaranteed just because, these starters aren't stretched out enough. I think that's still granted to say because you're seeing all the other starters that are going up against the Phillies, and they're going at least 5-6 innings at this point. And I don't know what to tell you right now. If the lineup was hitting better, you probably wouldn't be seeing these, guys last this long. Quick at bats, getting out quickly, lining out, getting these hard hits that are going right to outfielders. There have been so many hard hits this year that just go right to the outfielders. So there's going to be like an instance where those hits will fall. It's going to happen. Like I know I keep saying it literally every video, and I know you're probably tired of me saying that, but at the end of the day, it's going to happen. This team is going to get better. This lineup is too good, to be, bad for this long. And it's a 162 game season. Like I said, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. They're starting the season on a major down. It's frustrating. I'm not saying you can't be frustrated because I'm frustrated as much as you guys are. But still, look at it realistically. This team is going to get better. They will. Right now, sit back and relax. You could be frustrated. Overreaction might be a little bit, much. So before we get into all this stuff, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to TTP Sports. If you are new to the channel, I definitely recommend hitting that subscribe button. Also dropping a like on the like button as well. If you're looking for all the latest Philadelphia sports news, recaps, and events, this is the place to be at, depending on the outcome. Great or miserable, depending on the outcome. Also, if you're a current viewer of the channel, I'm grateful for you being here that long and looking to continue that down the road. Also, if you're looking for tickets to upcoming sporting events, concerts, whatever you can think of, use the code TTP Sports down below for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. So you can get yourself some Sixers playoff tickets. The series with the Toronto Raptors starts tomorrow. Maybe get yourself some of those, and then get yourself some Phillies home tickets at Citizens Bank Park. Why not? It's a deal you can't pass up on. Use that for parking. Use that for concessions. Can't pass up on that deal whatsoever. Free money in your pocket. Use the code TTP Sports for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek today. So like I said, the Phillies dropped Game 2 of this series in Game 8 overall to Miami Marlins once again by a score of 7-1. It's just basically a bad overall game. Zack Eflin was not good on the mound. Pablo Lopez on the other side for the Marlins, he was very good. Simple as that. The Marlins bats, they just, teed off on Zach Eflin in the first 2 innings. They score 4 runs in the first 2 innings. And then eventually, we know when Nick Nelson comes out onto the mound, they get some more runs cashed in there. So really, it was just an overall just bad day for the Phillies lineup, bad day for the Phillies, Zach Eflin in the beginning part of that bullpen and Nick Nelson. So, like I said, going over this game, really, first inning, you got that, deep double by Rhys Hoskins, and he's not, able to, brought home. Castellanos also gets a walk, so you got 2 guys on for Didi Gregorius. He's not able to bring them home. Then you go into that bottom of the first inning. Soler leads off with a double. Sanchez gets a double as well. He brings in Soler. Aguilar singles to score Sanchez, but then Muzziotti makes a great play defensively to get Aguilar out at second to prevent anything else from happening. So you do get out of that bottom of the first, but no runs allowed in that instance. But the bottom of the second inning for the Marlins, Stalling singles, Rojas singles, Chisholm's triples actually down the right field line, scores 2 runs there. So there's more runs on the board for the Marlins, and just everyone teeing off on Zach Eflin, making it a 4-0 ball game early on in the bottom of the second inning. Get another base runner in the top of the third for the Phillies. Nothing really happens there. Muzziotti grounds gets his first major league hit there. Schwarber, hard hit right at Joey Wendell. He just made a fantastic play to turn 2 right there, turn a double play. Rhys Hoskins walks, then Bryce Harper strikes out. Marlins actually, get retired really easily in the bottom of the third inning, surprisingly. Phillies, nothing really going for them in the top of the fourth. Didi does get on, but nothing really happens there. Bottom of the fourth for the Marlins, nothing happens on their side. Same thing for the Phillies in the top of the fifth, but then you go into the bottom of the fifth. Nick Nelson comes out in relief for Zach Eflin to start the inning. Cooper doubles. Sanchez gets a triple, scores Cooper, and then Aguilar gets a sacrifice fly to score Sanchez. Muzziotti also makes a great play on this, on this catch as well, basically robbing Aguilar of extra base hits, only bringing in that 1 run. So that's really good from Muzziotti, really good defensively, really good offensively as well. Garcia then gets a double as well. Wendell gets a single, but then, he manages, he loads the bases as well, Nick Nelson, but he manages to get out of that bottom of the fifth inning. Phillies, Rhys Hoskins leads off the top of the sixth with a double, and then nothing happens there. Harper lines out, Castellanos flies out, and Didi Gregorius flies out as well. Nothing going on there for the Phillies. Nelson comes back out for the 6th inning, walks Chisholm to lead off the inning, walks Soler, and then he hits Cooper with a pitch, so he loads the bases to start the inning. Sanchez lines out, and then Aguilar, he gets a sac fly, makes it 7-0. And that's basically the last run for the Marlins there. Phillies don't do anything in the top of the 7th inning. Stout walks. Garrett Stubb just barely misses a home run. He gets a double, so you get a 2nd and 3rd situation for Muzziotti. He lines out right to Joey Wendell. It was a hard hit, basically, once again in the situation, right to the glove of Wendell. And then Kyle Schwarber strikes out. Bottom of the 7th, Bellotti comes out, 1-2-3 inning. Phillies in their top of the 8th. Castellanos goes to the opposite field, bomb. Makes it a 7-1 ball game, and that's basically the rest of the game. Familia comes in for the 8th inning. He allows a single, but basically strikes out the rest of the batters and also gets a ground out. And then the Phillies get retired in the bottom of the 9th inning, top of the 9th inning, actually. Alec Boehm, he gets another hit in pinch hitting, and then Matt Vierling gets his first hit of the season. But then basically after that, nothing happens. So that is the end of the ball game there. And then we go to this lineup, this box score, to see how everything just went down, see how the batters were. Kyle Schwarber at the plate today went over 5, 2 strikeouts. He's batting .094 on the season. Not good. There definitely should be some adjustments made by Joe Girardi. I'm not sure if he's going to shake up the lineup a little bit just to see what else can fit in certain places. Maybe give Schwarber a day off tomorrow because I do believe it's going to be a lefty on the mound, Rogers, for the Marlins tomorrow. So there's definitely going to be something that's going to happen in that situation. And then you also got Rhys Hoskins. He went 2 for 3 today, so a really good day at the plate for Rhys. Bryce Harper goes 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. Terrible day at the plate for him. Nick Castellanos, he goes 1 for 3 with the lone bomb in this game. Didi Gregorius goes 1 for 4. Camargo goes 0 for 4. Stott goes 0 for 3 with a walk. Stubbs goes 1 for 3 with a double. Alec Bowman, his pinch hit situation, he goes 1 for 1. Muzziotti goes 1 for 3. And Matt Vierling in his pinch hit situation goes 1 for 1. So, yeah. And basically just going towards, the rest of the offense. Phillies were 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. They left 9 runners on base. Pitching wise, Zack Eflin, not good whatsoever. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, 1 walk, 4 strikeouts. Nelson on the mound. And there were some situations too where Nelson was on the mound getting into those jams. There were some calls by the umpire that were really close and probably could have gone the other way if they were called strikes because, maybe it's a 1-1 count. He throws a pitch, could have been a strike, instead call the ball, and then it becomes a 2-1 count instead of a 1-2 count. It becomes an entirely different situation at that point. So there were some definitely missed calls by the umpire, probably during, that Nelson, situation. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. And you got to find a way to execute regardless of what the umpire is doing. Yes, you throw some good pitches out there. Some of those times the umpire is not going to be, benefit in your favor. Sad. I hate, constantly, and he's, so many games so far. Yeah, the Phillies have experienced some bad umpiring behind the plate. But at the end of the day, you got to find a way to work around that. You got to find a way to get these guys out still. So that's where I draw the line there. You got to find a way to get these guys out. That's what all I'm saying at this point. Nelson comes out. So like I said, 2 innings for him, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 walks. So not the best outing from Nelson. Bilotti comes in for his inning, gets out of it, gets 2 strikeouts. Same thing with Melia. 1 inning pitched, 1 hit, 2 strikeouts. So basically the rest of the bullpen besides Nelson, very solid. Zack Eflin just not good on the dish. In the mound, just not ever. Wasn't good. I know I'm basically just screwing up my words. I'm just trying to find things to say because this game was just not good. I'm just overly frustrated right now, but I'm also trying to keep a level head at the same time because yes, it's frustrating because you're losing so many games. You lost 5 out of your last 6 and you're losing more games to the Marlins, just proving that this team is your kryptonite and you just can't find ways to beat this team. You can't find ways to get over that type of hump. Seriously, at some point, it's got to give. You got to eventually beat this Marlins team because it feels like every series now, because the Marlins are such a bad team, but the Phillies just go into it thinking oh my God, are we even going to beat these guys? And the Marlins get this confidence when every time they play the Phillies saying, okay, we can beat these guys. We can play with these guys. We are confident and we can find a way, to beat these guys every single time we go up to fight them. The Phillies got to find their way to get out of that hump. They got to find a way to beat this bad team. Because it's been happening for years now, even going back to, 2018, 2019, a while now, this Phillies team has struggled to beat the Marlins and just struggled to beat bad teams in general. This is one thing this has to change this year. The Phillies need to find a way to figure out how to beat the bad teams. And right now, these 2 games against the Marlins, it's not cutting it. You got to find a way to do it. But still, I'm not pressing the panic button whatsoever. It's still 8 games into the season. I'm not panicking. I know you're probably tired of hearing that it's only this many games into the season. Yes, these games do matter at the end of the day, but still, you're looking at around the other leagues as well. The Dodgers, their offense is struggling as well, even though, Kershaw, he almost had the perfect game where he got pulled. The Braves are struggling to start the season. A lot of other teams, their offenses are struggling. So the month of April is going to be a weird month for a lot of teams. I know it sucks because you're also seeing the Mets doing what they're doing. Their bats are going off. They're winning all these games as well. So, yeah, it's frustrating to see. But I think at the end of the day, this Phillies team is going to get better. The Braves are going to get better. A lot of these other teams that are struggling right now, it's going to even out. It's going to even out. A lot of things look lopsided right now, but eventually things do even out in sports. So look at it right there. Look at it at reality of what could possibly happen. So, yeah, frustrating stretch, but I do believe they're going to get out of it. And you got the rest of the series Saturday and Easter Sunday. You got tomorrow Schwarber on the mound going up against Rogers, and you also got Sunday Wheeler going up against Hernandez, and then you got the 3-game set with the Colorado Rockies before you get your first off day of the 2022 season. Nola is going to be on the mound the first game against Colorado, Gibson the second game, and then Eflin the third game in Colorado. So I wonder how that series is going to go for the Phillies, especially with the pitcher struggling right now. How are they going to benefit going up against Coors? We know with how Coors is, how not pitcher friendly of a ballpark it is, and it's going to be weird. It definitely is going to be very interesting to find that out. So before I end this video off, I do want to go, like I said, I dug into some research, show you some maybe some previous Phillies teams that made the playoffs. I specifically wanted to go back to see what, the 2007 Phillies team. I'm not going to compare these 2 teams whatsoever. They're 2 completely different teams. 2007 Phillies team, much better defense. 100 times better defense than this Phillies team has had. Pitching wise, I would say this Phillies team technically does have better pitching, but also the Phillies had some nice pitchers on the 2007 squad as well. Lineup, I'll give it to both teams. Both teams had really good lineups, but I want to look at how they started those years, and you know what happened with the 2007 Phillies. They won the division. They finally made the playoffs after ending that long ass playoff drought that they had. That Phillies team had. Because what was it, like the last time before 2007 they made the playoffs? What was the last time they made it? Was it 93 or something like that? Was it a 14-year playoff drought? So yeah, that was a very long playoff drought, and that was a Phillies team that finally got over the hump in that standpoint. So I looked at the month of April for the 2007 Phillies team, and it wasn't a good month. It was a very bad month, actually. They played in 25 games. They went 11-14. They struggled that month. A couple of games did get delayed because of rain delays. Some of them did get made up. But also, in their first 10 games, they went 2-8. That Phillies team struggled very early on. But then that's where I come in to say, don't lose hope. Don't start the panic very early on. You could be frustrated, but don't lose hope, because look what that Phillies team eventually did. They got better as the season went along, and they got hot, and they found a way to get confident in themselves, and they found themselves winning the division and making the playoffs. Now, I'm not telling you this Phillies team is going to win the division. I'm just trying to tell you that this Phillies team is going to get better. They're not this team that they are right now. That just shows you right there, that Phillies team in 2007 that started the season, they got off to a cold start, and then they eventually got better as the season went along. I'm trying to say this Phillies team right now, I'm not saying they're going to win the division. I said that during my Phillies preview that I see them as a second wild card spot, maybe a third wild card spot type of team. So that's what I'm trying to say. So right there, I'm trying to see you, in that standpoint that the Phillies team is going to get better. I understand it's very frustrating right now. Panic button probably should not be hit. And there's going to be those people that are already writing off this team saying it's the same old Phillies. Relax right now. The team is going to get better. I know you're tired of hearing that. I know you're right to be frustrated. Everyone here has a right to be frustrated. Just relax a little bit. Just relax. Before we end off, I see a chat right here from the live feed. Kevin says, everyone talks about the offense. With the starting pitching, the 1927 Yankees, 8 starters would not get this team into the playoffs. I think you're looking at this a little too negatively there, man. Little too negatively. I understand frustration hits everything, but right now, you also got to look at it like this. Yes, the starters are also struggling. Spring training was very short. When do pitchers usually report the spring training pitchers and catchers? Midway through February. The lockout prevented that. The lockout, you didn't start spring training until halfway through March. So, yeah, the pitchers aren't fully stretched out. They're struggling right now. Will these starters be the best starters in baseball? No. I'm saying it'll eventually even out. I do have my concerns about Aaron Nola, yes. Am I concerned about Kyle Gibson? No. I think he'll eventually even out. He got roughed up a little bit, yes, in his last start. But over the course of his career ERA, what is it, around like the mid threes to the low fours? He's going to even out towards that. Same thing with most likely Zach Eflin. Zach Wheeler, there's still things to be determined with that situation. Same thing with Ranger Suarez. Suarez is definitely not going to be that, sub 2 ERA type of guy. I think he's more going to be, averaging out towards the mid threes. Same thing with, what is a Zach Wheeler going to do, especially coming off of his shoulder situation? Had a good start against the Mets, but how is he going to even out going towards the rest of the season? Like I said, there definitely are some question marks. There are. But it's not going to be this bad for the entire season. Try to look at it like that. You could be frustrated. It's not going to be that bad. 162, there's going to be ups, there's going to be downs. Some of those highs are going to be as high as ever. And those lows, some of those lows are going to be very low. And the team looks dreadful, like they are right now. That's what 162, that's what happens during a whole stretch of a 162. It happens. Every team goes through that. Look at the other teams, the past couple of years. Like specifically teams that won their I'm still not trying to say this Phillies team is not going to win a championship. I'm not saying that. The Nationals, when they won their World Series, they got off to one of the worst starts ever. and they got hot at the right time. The Braves last year, they weren't the best. Acuna got injured, but they made deals at the deadline. They got hot at the right time. They won the division. And look at what they went to win the World Series. You just got, like I'm saying, I'm just trying to not to say the panic button should not be pressed. The offense will get better. These guys are too good to be bad for this long. Right now, relax. You could be frustrated. You have every right to be. You should not be giving up on this team now. 8 games into the season. Should not be. Should not be whatsoever. And that's where I stand. So, that's where I'm going to end it here, everyone. What are your thoughts on this game so far, the season so far? You're frustrated, everything like that. You're already giving up on this team. Do not forget to leave your comments in the comment section down below. I like to see those as always. Don't forget to drop a like on this video. Don't forget to check out the Band Alliance, which I'm a part of. Their links are down in the description below. Also, don't forget to check out the links to BrodesMedia, the Florida Pod merch website, and also Flyers Nitty Gritty. All that good stuff is down in the description below. Do not forget to check those out. And like I said at the beginning of the video, the most important thing you can do is hit that subscribe button. I would greatly appreciate that. And also use the code TTPSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. But Kevin, the Phillies don't have one all-star type starting pitcher. What do you mean? Zack Wheeler literally made the all-star game last year. What do you mean? He was second in Cy Young voting last year. Probably should have won the Cy Young last year. So that's just false. That's just a false statement. And if you're trying to say Zack Wheeler played way above his head, that's just wrong. That's just completely wrong. That's just a false statement. That is. To say that they don't have one all-star type of starting pitcher. They do. Zack Wheeler is an all-star. He's their ace right now. Made the all-star team last year and was second in Cy Young voting last year. There's your answer. There's your literal answer. That is just a false statement. Yeah, I'm worried about Aaron Nola. Yes. Aaron Nola at this point in his career, probably a 3 on most teams' rosters. Right now, he has to be the 2. Kyle Gibson, he's a 4th or a 5th type starter. Zach Eflin, 4th, 5th type starter. Ranger Schwarber, we still don't know what he is yet. I know he had the fantastic season last year, but we still don't know what he is yet. But to say they don't have an all-star type of starting pitcher, that's just false. That's Zack Wheeler. It's just completely false. So, like I said, I'm going to end it here, folks. Don't forget to leave all that stuff down in the comment section below and check all the links down below. And I will see you next time.